What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dynasty the Alias coming to you live in effect. Today we're going to do something real special, something that's new to me. First things first, shout out to the homie Q Storm. I'm taking a page out of one of his things, so I want to first give acknowledgement for, doing the video interview or whatever. He did it first, and due to the circumstances with the interviewer, she wanted me to interview in a similar fashion. So, first things first, big ups to the homie Q. Second, Mother Hip Hop, www.cradlebars.wordpress.com. I want to thank you for the interview and thank you for the opportunity to, discuss a couple of things about me. So, gonna go ahead and get right into the interview. Just go over a couple of questions that she sent me. So, without further ado. So, first thing she asked is, where did your stage name originate from? For those who don't know, I'm Dynasty the Alias. The origination of Dynasty the Alias is, at first my rap name was Mike Jones. That was, that's my name, Michael Jones. But as the emergence of other rapper from Texas, Mike Jones, came out and just basically destroyed my name, I just decided, okay, well, I'm building something. And in the midst of building a name, you're also building a brand. So I decided to use the word that best describes my process, because I'm trying to build something to pass it on. So when I'm done with whatever it is that I do, I can pass it on to my kids or the younger generation on the block and let them pick up where I left off. So Dynasty is for what I'm trying to build, and the alias is because of the fact that I switched my name from my birth name, which was my original rap name, to Dynasty. So I felt like it all just kind of fit together. So, that's the rationale behind that. Secondly, what is currently my biggest accomplishment? Biggest accomplishment is, well, life. My biggest accomplishment is that I'm still here, I'm still breathing. It's a bunch of things that tie into that big accomplishment because of the fact that I've had to learn a lot, had to do a lot, had to make a lot of mistakes. So my biggest accomplishment, I would say, is learning from my mistakes and making better decisions. I'm a father, also married man. Always got to show the ring also that she know what time of day it is. But yeah, being a father, being a married man, making all types of real idiotic decisions, going through that lazy period of my life to where I didn't take life seriously, where I didn't take school seriously, where I didn't take hip-hop seriously. Just life as a whole, for me being 27 and being able to pick up and continue forward, that's my biggest accomplishment. So you can't really say that, oh, one thing in your life is a big accomplishment. Like some people, it may be graduating for school, or it may be landing that job that you always dreamed of. But the thing is that after you do something that you are really proud of, you're going to get bored with it. You're going to set a new goal to do something else. So my biggest accomplishment is life, that I keep accomplishing, gravitating, elevating mentally, physically, and stimulating those around me in my life period. So therefore, my biggest accomplishment at my death will be that I gave people something while I was alive. So just to clarify that, my life is my biggest accomplishment. So how do you juggle being an everyday man and an artist? What are the pros and cons? Well, everybody is not seeing big paychecks from, the hip hop. It's a long road to get there. You got a lot of work, a lot of gradual progression, a lot of hands you got to shake, a lot of connections you got to build just to get to the point where somebody feel the need to hand you over a check, a lot of polishing up of your craft. So like most men, especially men with families, or just men in general, I'll just leave it at that. I got a regular gig, and at that regular gig, I'm Mike Jones all day. I incorporate certain parts of Dynasty, like when I meet people that's into hip-hop, or, I have a conversation and I kind of bring them into my world. So it's like I sort of have a balance, but I'm still getting better at learning how to balance out. So what happens is that, you know, on the pro side, being Dynasty is being that person who speaks up for the little guy. I'm the person who speaks up against the things that just don't make sense. And it's just like, you know, it's not necessarily revolutionary, but it's not far from it. You know, I consider myself the thought prompter. I give you something to think about, something to consider, and I deliver it to you in a way that's just like, hey, I didn't take that into consideration before. Then Mike Jones is, you know, the family guy. He's the co-worker. He's the drinking buddy, or he's the, you know, that guy that you call for advice, or, you know, just somebody that you shoot the breeze with from time to time. So sometimes those worlds kind of clash because of the fact that Dynasty is a part of Mike Jones, but Mike Jones is the whole. But there are certain times to where I jump into that mode, like, you know, hey, that's, you know, foul ball on that. Like, you know, what you did was jacked up. But at the same token, there's a time and a place for everything. And, you know, the biggest issue is trying to make sure that I can not cross each other into lanes, because sometimes it can get a little ugly when Dynasty comes into Mike Jones's world and vice versa. So, you know, just keeping the balance between Dynasty on the stage, Dynasty when I'm introducing new business, Dynasty when it's anything pertaining to Sky's the production group, but there also being Mike Jones, the man behind it, and also the man behind the family, the man behind the bills, the man behind the kid, the man behind everything. So one fraction is Dynasty, the rest of it is Mike Jones, and everything else is tied and branched to him. So every so often, the biggest con is just making sure that I keep checks and balance over Dynasty and don't let him come over into here too much, because things don't always pan out the right way when he's, you know, active. So in my music, you know what I'm saying, is it the only pursuit, or do I have other dreams? And if so, what are they? Like most people, I'm a big dreamer. You know, my thing is the fact that hip-hop is something I love. It's the culture of hip-hop. It's something I love, and I want to contribute to all factions of hip-hop. You know, graffiti art, DJing, breaking, rapping, MCing. You know, I want to be able to deliver, to provide a platform for all of these elements to be able to live and, you know, just weave my fabric into the world of hip-hop. So outside of just rapping, you know, rapping is not a career choice for me, but it's something I love to do. I run a business, a Sky's Limit production group. That's my business. I run that for money. I rap because it's what I love to do, because I'm embracing the aspect of my culture in the hip-hop world. So dreams, aspirations, man, my biggest dream at this point in time is to just be the dopest father I can possibly be. You know, like a lot of rappers or a lot of people, but, you know, especially because we hear the rapper's story. You know, I come from a broken home and, you know, a bunch of different things. You know, it's like mama had her issues, you know, stepfather had his issues, my old man had his issues. You know, my older brothers and sisters, they had their issues, and, you know, as a shorty, you watch all of that and you try to not repeat the mistakes of the past, especially things that you shouldn't have seen that you did. And, you know, even the dumb stuff that you did, you try to correct those things so that when you look at your kids, you're not passing on that same generational irony or generational curse to them that was passed down on you. So, you know, just breaking that chain. You know, that's one of the most important things that I could do in that aspect. You know, so, yeah. My dreams just, you know, be the best husband and father, you know, be the best MC, be #1 at the MC, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, outside of music, just pretty much to sum it all up, man, just live a productive life and be able to give back. That's really what matters. So my biggest goals in life they're pretty much like this. To be a successful businessman, to be able to pass down a company or companies to my family and my people, to be able to create something that didn't exist prior and give it to them, whether it be, you know, the restaurant, or whether it be something in hip-hop, specifically in hip-hop. You know, no matter what it is, I want sky's the limit to be something I can give to my daughter when I'm ready to sit down and say, here, it's all yours. Or give to my son, you know what I'm saying, if I'm blessed to have a son, or whomever. Or pass it to one of my nieces and nephews, like, hey man, you know, it's your turn to rock and roll, man. I'm finna go kick it on this island somewhere and forget that I know English or something, you know. So that's where that's at, you know. I'm really like, biggest goals is to create a lot, to make a lot, not for namesake, but to be able to give something to people that they can keep building on and keep passing on to other people, you know, keep blessing other people with the work from my own two hands. That's what more can you expect the Father to say? What more can you expect a man to say? A man don't want to be selfish. A man wants to pass on not just his knowledge, not just his name, but pass on his legacy, pass on the things that he created. So that's my life. My biggest goals are to pass down something that somebody else can use to live a productive life. So that's what that is.